Hey, Intuitive Soul Tribe. Mel, Intuitive Coach here, excited to bring to you today's collective reading. Welcome back to my channel if you're returning, and welcome if you're new. If you're interested in a personal reading, signing up for the monthly newsletter, or entering into the free reading giveaway, you can find all of that information in the description box below the video. All right, collective, welcome. I am seeing in my mind's eye a big old billboard with the words flashing in neon colors. Change your story. Change your story. And it's big, right? So some of you could be seeing signs, synchronicities showing up in your life that is telling you to change your story. Now, the key themes showing up for you right off the bat, to me, this is the sun and the moon. You have the bliss and the shadow, right? The bliss card is all about heaven on earth. It is happiness and sunshine and joy and freedom. It's the yes card. And it's all about wish fulfillment and feeling great about where you are at or where you're going. It's having that confidence and that vitality and that playfulness. That is the story that you are wanting to be in, right? If you're not there yet, for others of you, for a lot of you that are tuning in today, this could be a part of your life, the shadow that you are meant to change, okay? Changing your story. And I'm getting a message here about a decision, a choice. One decision, one choice, one thought can change the trajectory of your life forever. Choose wisely is what I just heard. Choose wisely. Now, this is the kind of decision that's not made from the analytical mind, right? It's not made from your conditions, your wounds, your buried traumas. It's not made from the ego, right? This is the type of decision that is made from the heart. And then we can use the brain to decide the hows. And I feel like a lot of you are ready. And maybe you've been telling yourself the wrong story. I feel like there's a message here about endings, letting go. There's a message around new beginnings. But it also has everything to do with our belief system, our self-talk, what we spend the majority of our day telling ourselves. What are the main emotions that show up, right? Are we filling our lives with stress or joy or anxiety or fears or anger or unconditional love, right? Really take a look at where your feelings and your emotions lie. What is the self-talk also that you're telling yourself about the world, about yourself, about other people, about your career, about your health? So you may find that through looking at some of those shadows, through some of those wounds, that the self-talk that you've been telling yourself, it may in fact be holding you hostage to a story that is wrong for you. This is about limiting beliefs as well as trusting in your higher power. It's trusting in yourself to make decisions that are in your highest good, but also knowing that spirit is your biggest manifesting partner. You're not doing this life alone. Even though so often we feel isolated, we feel lonely, we feel withdrawn and rejected. Some of you may be romanticizing the past, or there may have been signs that you've ignored. I feel like it's important that you understand if something has ended, you don't have to stay caught up in that ending, right? You have nothing to prove. You are worthy just as you are. We're going to take a look, of course, at the shadow and the bliss, because it almost feels like, again, story A, story B, right? Which story do we want to be in here? But how can we get there? Through this belief system, through making that choice from the heart. Bottom of the deck, you have Soul Tribe. This may have to do with family. It may have to do with resources, friendships, lovers, a sense of belonging, feeling like you have a tribe, or maybe you feel like you don't have a tribe. I do see part of this bliss does have to do with the 10 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles. It has to do with feeling that love and support. Some of you have been estranged from a family member, or maybe you were adopted or you felt alienated. Some of you may have left home at a young age. Some of you had to parent your parent. I just feel like there could be some wounds potentially from childhood that you have worked a lot on. You've really let a lot go, but you're still hanging on to a very pivotal piece that is causing you to feel restless or dissatisfied in a current area of your life. So let's dive into this a little bit more here. Now there's a message here, and this is going to be a cold, blunt truth. This is my Aquarian moon coming out here for some of you. As soon as someone doesn't want you, whether this be in a business or in your career or in a relationship or even a family member, right? If someone doesn't want you, that's not your person. That's not your business. That's not where you should be working, right? If they don't want you, that is your attachment or childhood trauma telling you that you're less than, or you have to prove something to stay there, or, they didn't want you, so it has to do with you, right? We tell ourselves that when we're rejected or when a door is shut on us. And I feel like there's a message here of saying, if something closes, if it is a door slammed in your face, or maybe someone has a foot in the door and it's playing with your emotions, I feel like it's important to shut that door fully, and you don't have anything to prove by staying. You are worthy just as you are, and the right person, the right company, the right friend, whomever this may be showing up in your tribe here, the right energy is going to call you in and accept you and all of you, and vice versa. So some of you needed to hear that message. As soon as someone doesn't want you, that's not your person. Okay. I am getting a message here about stop running. Stop running away from something. It's time to run towards it, because you're owning your own narrative either way, right? Whether you are staying in this shadow, you're owning it by staying there, right? Or whether you are, staying in this story of bliss, you're owning it either way. And you have the Two of Wands and the Two of Swords. That's choice after choice. That's the choice. But these aren't the choices that I want to see, right? I don't want to see the Two of Wands in reverse or the Two of Swords in the upright. If anything, I want to see the Two of Cups. I want to see that Two of Pentacles. And I feel like the Two of Swords here is saying there's not enough information, right? We're using the brain here to make a choice. And that may be the first trigger, or that may be the first step that we need to really look from a different angle and say, wait a second, is this a choice that I'm making from my heart? The brain can help me decide how after I've made that choice, but it feels like there's a reversal going on here. Two of Swords says we're at a crossroads. The head is going in one way, the heart is going in another. There's not enough facts, there's not enough information. We're paralyzed by indecision. But I also feel like this has to do with one lying to themselves. There's something here about maybe being in denial or lying to oneself about a situation because they're hanging on to an attachment or to a childhood trauma. And that's what this shadow is all about. The shadow is saying, can you trust? Can you take a leap of faith? Can you let go of the wheel and give your biggest manifesting partner, which is who? Spirit, because you're not on this soul journey all by yourself. Two of Wands in reverse, stagnation, complacency, doubt, indecision. It is time to step out of your comfort zone, because that is going to change your story. It's not always comfortable in the comfort zone, but it becomes a comfort zone because it becomes our default, right? Sometimes we come from a very dysfunctional family unit, family dynamic, but yet that's the comfort zone that we grew up in. So what do? We attract partnerships that are dysfunctional. And it's time to make a life-altering choice from the heart saying, wait a second, is this my heart, my soul, my path, my true north? Or is the brain telling you that this is a comfort zone? This is your conditioning. This is your pattern. This is your trauma. And that's why it's so very important to make some choices here from the heart. Now, Spirit, what else do we have? One final outcome for the shadow, one final word of advice to get collective out of any energy that feels stuck or feels indecisive or feels like they can't change their story. It feels like they've been prisoner. You're not. Remember, you are owning your own narrative by not making a choice or staying indecisive or even staying in a comfort zone. And I am going to say here, even if that is the choice that you make, you are still worthy. You still have nothing to prove, even if you stay in this situation. It doesn't mean that you're less than. It doesn't mean that you're not smart. It does not mean that you're not competent. Collective, remember that. One more message, one more advice from the shadow card, please. I really feel like there's something big coming up. And remember the words, choose wisely, and then you get the two of swords and 2 of wands. And you see here that there's a path ahead, but you might have to go through the Tulgey Woods. You see the Tulgey Woods. Isn't that in Alice in Wonderland? It's scary. You got choices left and right. It's foggy. It's fearful. But perhaps there's another path over here that's saying, be aware of your surroundings, but that yellow brick road, or in this case, the enchanted forest, but the yellow brick road, it's like it's going to appear in front of you, right? The journey of 1,000 miles. You're not going to see every single step to get to that destination, but they will start to appear, right? As Lao Tzu says, it begins with a single step. And I feel like it's very important for you to take that next step and to keep moving through it, even through uncertainty, because that is the only way out of your comfort zone. All right, one more card for the shadow. One more card for the shadow. Look at that, Wheel of Fortune. That is changing the trajectory of your destiny, right? It basically is you making a choice. I feel like there's something destined already. That's what destiny is, right? It's something that is meant for us in this lifetime. But perhaps you had delayed it because you were inside this other story and you've been telling yourself the wrong one, or the one that says, I have to stay in this. I'm trapped in this. This is the only way. Wheel of Fortune is Sagittarian energy, and we're in Sag season. Even though these are timeless, a lot of you are watching this at this time. It's destiny, it's fate, it's karma. It's a renewal of life. It is a turning point, a big one, and it's a new cycle that you have. This is a new contract. It's coming up now. And it's interesting because you see the white rabbit holding the clock, and I'm getting like the clock striking midnight. And December is the 12th month, right? So it almost feels like the final countdown, like the time is now, no more wasting time, no more putting this off. I feel like this is something that needs to take place or will take place by Sagittarian season. Some sort of choice will be made. We're in Sag season until end of December 21st, I believe, before we enter Capricorn. And it could be that the choice is then made. And then Capricorn, you can use that energy of listening to the brain to decide how, right? But I feel like there is a turning point. Wheel of Fortune in the upright is beautiful. This is beautiful and it comes in hot. And I feel like it is. It's time. Let's take a look at your new story. We see the shadows and it's going to be different for each and every one of you. Think of whatever area in your life that you're dissatisfied currently. Maybe it's your health. Maybe it's your career, your work environment. Maybe it's your business. Maybe it's your family, the friends that you hang around with. Maybe it's between a child. Maybe there's something here that you are being, I don't want to say, it's not selfish, but it's being in an energy where you're choosing you. Like you're choosing your happiness, and that's not selfish. However, some of you could be stuck on a belief that that is selfish because maybe that's what society told you. Maybe that's what a family member has told you. Maybe, there was some sort of conditioning that told you it's selfish to do something for you. And I see you giving that a big old wink and you saying, no, it's not. This is me taking care of me, even if it's been for the first time. There's going to be something you're doing. Maybe you want to sign up for a class. Perhaps you want to take a solo trip to Italy. Perhaps you want to get a dog, right? Perhaps you want to get, liposuction. Who knows, whatever it is for you, you don't have to explain your reasoning to anyone. And I feel like, again, if you felt attached to something, that's your trauma that is attaching. Could be a trauma bond here, or it just could be that you feel like you can't break out of a comfort zone for whatever old story you've told yourself. No more of that here, collective. Belief system is right smack dab in between the shadow, the moon, and the sun. Now, the moon, the shadow work can be the moon, but it can also be like the devil. All right. Now, what I'm getting with this is subconscious. It can be subconscious energies that are coming up to your conscious awareness. Something is being exposed, and what's being exposed to you, because again, when I created this deck, I do feel like this is kind of like the sun and the moon. It feels like there's something deep within you bubbling up and you're saying, whoa, wait a second. I'm really not wearing those golden, handcuffs. I'm really not trapped. I'm really not stuck. But I told myself I was, but I'm not. I can free myself. All right. What's this new story look like? What's this new story look like, and what is it going to take, collective, to get there? What's the new story look like, and what is it going to take to get there? All right. We see the strength. It's so interesting because I've been dreaming about lions lately. I just woke up this morning and I dreamt of 2 lioness surrounding me and protecting me. Some of you could be dreaming about lions. You could be dreaming about animals, spirit totems. You could be seeing creatures in the great outdoors. Pay attention to signs and symbols, especially if they come through animals, okay? Another client the other day seen a big, beautiful white swan that probably already should have went south, right? But there's messages coming out. Spirit wants you to pay attention to them. And you have the strength here helping you every step of the way. This is the cowardly lion. He's not a coward at all. He just had to remember his courage along the way, and he found more of it. How did he find more courage within him? By going through the fears, by facing those fears. That's what made him stronger, right? Some of you may have felt timid. You may have felt weak. You may have felt self-doubt. You may have tended to fight or flight. We said that earlier. Are you running towards, or are you running away? Own your own narrative. Where do you want to be running towards? Right? And I feel like you have everything you need here with the strength. This is your inner strength to overcome difficulty, but sometimes the only way is through. And this is self-control and facing those fears head on. You have the temperance, more Sagittarian energy. We have Leo here. We have Sag. We have some swords, fire, but we do have here a lot of this time, like the time is now. So even though the temperance card is about patience, I feel like this means it's a long time coming. It's a long time coming, and it's time to step out of your control, step out of the ego, or at least push through the ego, because the ego can be helpful. It can be beneficial, believe it or not, but it's pushing through that so we can get to that deep, intuitive, heart-centered energy and make some choices and then move forward, because it feels like you've been wanting something for quite some time to change or shift. Spirit, can we get a little more insight into this bliss? Be patient with how the steps appear, Remember we talked about the steps? They're going to appear for you. But if you do not see one of those steps appearing in front of you, don't turn back around because it will appear. Ask. Just ask. Don't make it harder in your head. Don't assume or be afraid of disappointing others or even disappointing yourself, because you will not know unless you continue to move forward on those steps. And even sometimes those steps may feel like they're going to disappear when you're on them, but keep going because you have the sun. You have that inner light that is guiding you every step of the way. And look at this. There's the star. There's the inner light guiding you every step of the way. It is Glinda, the good witch. You know, in Wizard of Oz, when Dorothy is traveling with her soul tribe, bottom of the deck, soul tribe, and she's going off on an adventure, right? This is the next card on the bottom of the deck. Glinda comes in when she's needed the most. She never truly leaves. Her energy is always there, right? But physically, she'll manifest in that beautiful pink ball. I remember loving Glinda when I was a little girl. I thought she was the most magical, most beautiful being that I'd ever seen. And I loved that she would show up and, you know, connect with Dorothy when she needed it the most. And the star is within us all. Right? The star is the hope. The star is the inspiration. It's the dream. It's the healing. It is a wish granted. The wish granted is the wish fulfillment showing up. This is double confirmation, soul tribe, that there is a wish manifesting. And yes, it's been a long time coming. Have patience. And I know you already have, but there's some shift happening this Sagittarian season. And even if it feels like you can't quite see that step in front of you, like we said, don't turn back. Don't turn back. Don't romanticize the past. Don't look for signs that it's not right for you. Don't look for signs that it's going to fail. Keep that abundant mindset. That's why you have the belief system here. Wow, I'm loving this. What do we need to know about the star? Okay, we see that this is a brighter future ahead. We see that this is the changing of one story. Let's get one more for the star, even though, I mean, you know what's interesting here? You have the Wheel of Fortune, beautiful major arcana, clarifying the shadow. So regardless, Destiny says, what is meant for you, whatever your soul contracted you to complete in this lifetime, we can be stubborn and we can, make choices that lead us to maybe the path that can feel of resistance, the path of resistance, but there can be a path of least resistance when we surrender, when we trust, when we believe. And I feel like you've had to go through some hard knocks, right? Life has kicked you around. Life has kicked you down at times. It feels that way. But I feel like you've got yourself up again. It reminds me of that song, I Get Knocked Down, I Get Up Again. Chumbawamba, is it? I haven't heard that for a long time. But it feels like you keep getting up. But I feel like this time you're up and you're staying up. Because when that step disappears or you don't see it yet, you're not running scared like the cowardly lion with his tail between his legs saying, "Ooh, I'm scared," right? You have wisdom now. You have experience now. And when you know better, you do better. That's one of my favorite sayings. When you know better, you do better, because you can't unsee something that you've seen. And I feel like you have the strength and you have the heart. Look at that heart there. And what people don't always recognize within the lion, the strength of the lion, is the heart of compassion, the heart of vulnerability. Brene Brown says vulnerability is our greatest strength, and to open ourselves up after loss, after death, after destruction, after the tower, because that's that star that comes in and says, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. All right, let's look at your underlying energy of soul tribe. What do we need to know about soul tribe coming in? Now, this may not be here yet. And look at, we have the tower in reverse. So the tower is destroying old structures and not resisting And maybe that has been part of it with the Two of Wands, Two of Swords is resistance. But it's like destiny is knocking on the door and saying, okay, you've been putting this new story off. We're either going to bring in a tower, right? Or we're going to bring in this Wheel of Fortune, and this is you. You can decide to step into this destiny now. You're going to step into it nonetheless, because that's what destiny is. But you can either choose your way in a sense, or you can wait for the tower, but I feel like it's coming in now. All right. Final message here. Three of Cups. Oof. Okay. Three of Cups is soul tribe. Three of Cups in reverse, though, feels a little bit left out. Feels like you've been left out of the table. It feels like you got seated at the little kids' table and everybody is over here, you know, and how interesting is that? Because you have inner child. So this could be your inner traumas, your inner child traumas that feel like you've been punished, right? Go sit in your room and cry. Go sit in the corner. Go sit off on your own. And we're taught that, right? We're taught that even as a young child. If you're going to cry, go to your room. Or go to your room and feel in your emotions. So we're taught immediately at that young age that we have to deal with them by ourselves. Or we're taught little boys should not cry. Or, you know, we're taught so many different things that we don't even think twice about until they start to show up in our lives, in our patterns. And I feel like that Three of Cups is saying, why the hell am I sitting at a child's table when I'm a full-ass grown adult? And I feel like you might be getting angry, you might be getting mad, but good. Let yourself get angry. Let yourself get mad, because maybe it's through that emotion that you choose to make a new choice, to change your story. Because the right people, the right tribe are going to celebrate with you. These are, you know, your people. A lot of you are calling in new people in 2025. The High Priestess. The High Priestess sticks to herself. She's very intuitive. She is someone who's behind the curtain, right? She doesn't say a lot because she observes and she just knows. She has a clear knowing. And some of you, you may feel like you've been ostracized because of your gifts. You may have felt ostracized since you were a young girl or a young boy because you were different. Maybe you look different. Maybe you were shorter than the rest or taller, or you had a lisp, or you had a spiritual gift and you could see things, hear things. Maybe you were told that you were too loud, that you talked too much, right? Or that you were too shy. Whatever it was here, these are your gifts, collective. Don't let anyone put you in the corner, right? Don't let anyone put High Priestess there in the corner. You have the King of Pentacles because you're very successful. You're well on your way towards success, towards abundance, towards reliability. This could be better health. It could be a loyal, trustworthy relationship. That potentially could be marriage material for those of you that are in a union. Perhaps there's some sort of trust being established or reestablished, maybe some sort of solid foundation that you are, you know, drawing a line in the sand in some way. The Death card, the Death and the Five of Swords. You're putting an end to conflict. You're putting an end to this shadow life, to this old life, the old story, basically. And again, that old story has everything to do with the Three of Cups. Feeling left out, feeling ostracized, or just maybe there was a third party. Maybe you were not feeling a part of a tribe, okay? Or it could have been some sort of triangulation. It doesn't have to be a love triangle, but it could have been a family dynamic between you and a sibling and a parent, between you and your spouse and a child, right? Between work and a partnership and you, right? It feels like there's some sort of triangulation that has caused you to stay in this old story, to stay in some sort of shadow, to stay bearing those emotions, and they're creating dis-ease. They're created or have created some sort of imbalance. And now Spirit is saying that story is over. There's something done, dead, and over here. Five of Swords, if that's where you're coming out of, that is not fun. Five of Swords is someone taking advantage of you. It's selfish. It's anger. What did I say earlier about anger? Get mad. get mad, because then, allow that anger to bubble up within you. Because for some of you, you've been suppressing it, and it's been creating resentment, or it has created some sort of bitterness. And I feel like you can release it now. There's something about releasing it, or making the choice to release it for yourself. And even if that makes someone else upset, even if you say goodbye to someone, even if you leave behind a job, I feel like it is very much important for you to deserve a spot at the table where you are appreciated, where you are wanted, where you are respected, and where you're going to bring your own dish, right, to the mad tea party. And people are going to say, wow, this is a really great dish. I'm glad you brought it. And that dish is symbolic for something within you. You're bringing your A game, basically. And people are going to see that here. The right people are going to see it. And as soon as someone doesn't want you, as soon as they say, I don't want to eat your cupcake, right? I don't want to eat that. You made it, or I'm allergic to gluten, or whatever it may be. I'm not making fun of that. I don't eat a lot of gluten myself. But it feels like if someone's energy is coming in that's egoic, and they're just shunning you for either no reason, or something has ended, there's the proof right there. That's not your person. That's not your table. That's not your position. That's not your community. That's not your tribe. Listen to that, because this is you as a high priestess, male or female, it doesn't matter. You're in tune with the God and goddess within you. You're heading towards this happiness. You're heading towards freedom, whatever that may look like for you, collective. You have every ability, and look at the final card at the bottom of the deck. You have trust. Leap of faith, fidelity, getting honest with yourself, taking a good hard look, right? But also trust, taking that leap of faith with the heart, and then letting the brain do its work. That's why you have one, right? It's why we all have resources. And I feel like it's important to stay loyal to you. That's the final word here is loyalty. Stay loyal to you. Beautiful. That is what I have for you, collective. I hope this was helpful. You have everything within you to change your story. You are owning your narrative. What story do you want to be in? Shadow or the bliss? Now, of course, I'm getting that theme song from Married with Children, like love and marriage. You can't have one without the other. So it feels like, yes, there's still going to be an intermingled energy of some of the challenges that life brings, some highs and lows. But if you find that the majority of the story that you're telling yourself is a low, then really make that choice that you are worthy, that you have nothing to prove, that you now know better and you're going to do better. And that's where you are ending up, in the bliss. Thank you so much, collective. I hope this resonates. I hope it was helpful. If so, please hit that thumbs up button. Feel free to share, like, subscribe, and hit that bell. And I will talk to you soon. Lots of love.